A large part of our upbringing, of our education, is about distinguishing between reality and imagination. At first, it's not too big an issue. We're allowed to believe. We're allowed to muddy the distinction. Perhaps we're allowed to have an imaginary friend. And depending on our parents, they'll indulge that, or they might not. But as we get older, it's quite important, it becomes quite important to distinguish, to make this distinction, to make this cognitive distinction between what is real and what is imaginary. Spiritually, we need to undo that tendency and stop investing so much in that tendency. As adults, we need to be able to play the game, of course, and not confuse what's called imaginary with what's called real. We need to conform to the game of consensus reality. But spiritually, we don't need to do that. Spiritually, we need to stop investing in that distinction. And we can do that quite easily by considering the situation. Consider, for example, what's the difference between a dream and a memory. We might say, well, a memory is based on something that happened and a dream was imaginary. Well, that's really not what I'm asking here. I'm saying, what is the difference? What is the difference in substance between a dream and a memory? And I don't think that difference in substance has got anything to do with how they came about. What I mean by substance is, what's it actually made of? Is a dream made of different stuff from a memory? And I think you'd be hard pressed to say, yes, it's made of different stuff. Because it's not, is it? We could call the dream being made of dream stuff and the memory being made of memory stuff. But really, they're both mind stuff, aren't they? The dream and the memory are mind stuff. And then we can ask, well, what is the substance of a thought? Or a daydream, a fantasy? Is it the same as a memory, as a dream? But it's also mind stuff. I think you'll acknowledge that a thought is also mind stuff. It's a bit of mind stuff that we've given a different name to. And moving on from thoughts, what about an idea? What's an idea made of? What is the substance of an idea? That is also mind stuff. And ideas and thoughts can be very powerful, can't they? We have political ideas which gave us communism and fascism and caused, as a result, the deaths of millions in the 20th century. We've got religious ideas, ideas connected to Islam, ideas connected to Christianity and so on. These ideas have given us some good things and they've given us some bad things. But they certainly had a huge impact on people's lives and how they live their lives and who they think they are. So ideas, they're made of mind stuff. And they have a profound impact on our understanding of the world, our relationship with the world, our idea of who we are. There's also scientific ideas. E equals mc squared. That's a very powerful idea. It gives us the atom bomb. The idea of forces. It's always quite strange when you meet somebody who considers themselves to be a pragmatist, a realist. They don't have any faith. They're scientific and rational people. But science is based on forces, isn't it? Forces govern everything. Forces govern the so-called material world. And what is a force? You cannot see a force, you cannot smell it, you cannot hear it. You can hear the results of forces, so we're told. But the force itself is invisible. You can get a magnet, a bar magnet, put some paper on it and sprinkle some iron filings on it, and you can see lines of force. Although you're only looking at iron filings, aren't you? So we imply there's a force there. We come up with the idea of a force. This idea of a force is a very powerful one, even though it's something beyond the senses. It's an idea. Force is an idea. It's an idea we've got to explain things. Very powerful idea. An idea is mind stuff once again. What's the difference between an idea and a dream? Our whole reality is mind stuff. It's the one thing. Vasistha continued. An imaginary city is imagination, not city. Even so, the creation is but the notion that arises in the energy of the infinite consciousness. Or the notion that so arises is the creation. So the mind stuff is the energy of infinite consciousness. And this infinite consciousness isn't some mystical blob hanging high up in the sky somewhere. Infinite consciousness is consciousness. It's infinite because it allows an infinite variety of things to happen within it. This is the nature of consciousness. It's got this energy of creation, creating notions, creating ideas, imagination, memories, dreams, thoughts. This is the energy of the infinite consciousness. It's happening right here. It's not some mystical blob in the sky. It's our consciousness, it's our awareness right here, right now. And the two powerful ideas we have here is the idea of Shiva and Kalaratri. Shiva is that consciousness, is our consciousness, is our essential awareness, or just awareness. And Kalaratri, or Kali, is the dance of creation that is going on, the dance of notions, the dance of the mind stuff. Kalaratri is to the Lord, that's Lord Shiva, what movement is to air. Just as in empty space, air moves as if it has form, she moves in the infinite consciousness, executing the will or the wish of the Lord, as it were. When there is no such movement of the energy, then the Lord alone exists. This energy, this awareness, is the energy of the attention. It can either be at rest in itself, or it's engaging with all the notions which dance in front of it. So this is either Shiva or Kalaratri.